Man, welcome to 720 Podcast, brother. How are you?
Sir, man, I'm feeling great and blessed, man. How about yourself?
I know that's right, man. I'm feeling good, man. What you got on today? You look good, brother.
Thank you, bro. Just rocking a little bit of pieces from Macy's, man. I don't even know the brand. How about you, bro? I see you got Saints jersey on.
My boys are playing today.
Yeah.
Born and raised in Louisiana.
Come on.
Diehard Saints fan. We're playing Tampa Bay as we speak. Scores 3-3, fourth quarter. I'm not sure what the score's looking like right now. It could change.
You got it down pat. Come on, bro.
Diehard Saints fan, LSU fan. In terms of basketball, man, I really don't have a set team. I live in Atlanta, so I guess ATL is my team.
Nah, bro, you can't rep that, dog. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. You know, we got Mr. Lakers fan over here, Mamba. I know this right there. But, man, I'm feeling good, man. It's a beautiful, beautiful day.
Absolutely. Man, it's a little bit too hot out here in ATL right now. I'm looking forward to the fall, man. I ain't even gonna lie.
Hey, I'm a December baby. Okay. You know what I mean? So I'm definitely ready for the fall. You're right before me in November.
Yes, sir.
We got a birthday coming up, man.
You already?
I'm ready to celebrate that with you.
Yeah, man. I can't wait. This next year, this next chapter is gonna be something to remember.
It's dope. Man, last week we met.
Yeah.
And we had hell of a conversation.
Yep.
Creating a guideline.
Mm-hmm. A what?
A guideline.
Okay.
Not a guideline.
Okay.
A guideline.
Yeah.
But man, we got some good stuff, man. First off, bro, I just want to start this podcast off by saying, or this episode rather, man, who are you? Not your career, not what you do for a career.
Right.
Not who you are to other people, not a son.
Right.
A friend. Strip all of the titles.
Absolutely.
Who are you?
Who are you?
You asking me? Or
who
you just repeat me? Okay,
who are you?
Man, it's a difficult question. It's not something that we often think about.
Right.
Who am I? I am an ambitious, charismatic man.
Come on.
I'm a caring man. I'm a man that wears my heart on my sleeve. I'm a man that takes things personal, although I shouldn't. I'm jaded, man, you know, from life's experiences, but I try to be as transparent and as authentic as possible.
Right.
You know, I make my mistakes, I own up to them, and I just try to correct myself moving forward. I hope I answered your question as best I could.
Yeah,
you know,
man.
like I said, it's just not something that I think about or we think about every day.
Right.
So I pose that same question to you. Who are you?
Well, let me just start off by saying, you said, I hope that you can answer that question, as best as you could.
For sure.
I can never tell you how to answer the question, who am I?
For sure.
So, yeah, man, I admire you sharing that. But who am I?
Yeah.
Who is Autumn? I mean, the first thing that comes to mind is passion.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm very passionate in everything that I do, in every conversation. Relentless. Yeah. I'm relentless, bro. There's just something in me that just won't give up.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Understood.
I'm loving. I love love.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? I'm a family man. You know what I mean? And yeah, man. Those would be the three different things three different words I'd use to describe me.
But I'm interested to see how this question in various ways carries throughout each episode, because as we film, as we experience, and as we go through life, our perception changes. When our perception changes, I believe that the only way perception can change is if we change something, whether it's mentally, whether it's spiritually, or emotionally.
It's got to be some sort of shift.
It's got to be some sort of shift.
Okay.
And it doesn't always have to be physical. Okay. Right. But what I'm saying is, it has to start somewhere, and I believe that we are the root of perception and of change. And I just want to point this out, man. The reason why I pose that question to you, man, is because we as humans are individuals, right?
Right.
We often get so caught up or wrapped up in our career and our you know, me, I'm a new father. Right. So I very well could have said, you know, I'm Draven the father.
Fiance.
I'm Draven the fiance. I'm Draven the employee. I'm Draven the brother, the friend, the son, whatever the case may be, right? But I think we lose ourselves, or lose our sense of identity by way of these titles and these relationships. And when you posed me that question, I couldn't really answer that to the best of my ability right then, because it's like, damn, who am I?
Who are you? I mean, it's not something that we practice saying every day. You know what I'm saying? And now that you say that, it's almost like we have to take time out to ourselves every day to remind ourselves who we are before we were these things to everybody else.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And yeah, man, that comes with affirmations, I feel like. In order to remind yourself who you are, you must affirm who you are.
That's right.
You know?
And I use the word identity. Do me a favor, go on Urban Dictionary, bro. Look up, you know, the definition of identity. As I shared with you, we often, you know, lose that sense of self-identity, or however you categorize that. You know, it's up to you. But again, you know, I just want to take a second to ask the director, you know, or the creative director of this podcast. Who are you?
For me, that's a complicated question. There's layers to it, of course, but just short answer in particular, I would say that I am just a walking experiment. I would say I'm a walking experience, experiment of someone who's trying to just simply navigate through the world that we live in, as well as try to find my place in my faith, as well as try to find my place in today's society. You know, there's a lot of different imbalance between the two, so but definitely right now, the journey that I'm on, I feel like I'm a walking experiment in terms of being able to help those that are going through certain things that I have, you know, gone through in the past, or that I'm currently going through now. But then also at the same time, constantly, you know, peeling back layers every single day, so that ultimately I can do what I love to do, which is at the end of the day just help other people. Because that's what I feel like my biggest. That's my biggest.
Answered that. A walking experiment.
Walking experiment. Hell, we all are. Right. But we just have to have the humility to realize that and actually accept that. Acceptance is a big part of figuring out or learning who you are. But thank you for doing this search for me. But I really don't like this definition. The definition is something that describes an individual entity by its properties. Again, right? What we
still
just
putting
said,
us in a box.
It's still putting us in a box. You know, I can describe myself based on the things that I've accomplished, on the things that I own, and the things that I've set out to do. That's not what we're trying to do. Who are you is the question. You know? And I mean, I guess this is a perfect segue to go into the next part of what we're going to talk about. But are you who you want to be? Answer that for me.
Am I who I want to be? Honestly,
you gotta take a second to think about it.
Honestly, bro, am I who I want to be? No, I'm not. I'm not who I want to be. Am I on the way? Yeah, absolutely. But I'm not ultimately who I want to be. And I wonder what that looks like for someone.
Well,
you know,
just going back on the word acceptance, right? I think oftentimes, man, people come to a hole and they become stagnant in who they are, and they don't progress in life because, you know, again, that A word, they haven't accepted where they are. And I believe before you move authentically, right? I'll say that, because you can move and, you know, try to be this person that you are not. And I mean, movement is movement, you know, like, let's get that understood. But the steps that I want to take in my life, I want them to be authentic movements. You know what I mean? Transparent movements, right? So, you know, and I'll answer the question, am I who I want to be? Hell no. Right? But do I accept and love where I am in life today?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Right? There are several things that I thought I would have experienced up to this point. I thought I would have traveled internationally. I thought I would have, been making this amount of money. Mm-hmm. Or I thought I would have, owned A through Z. Mm-hmm. But not unfortunately, but that's just not the case right now, right? Mm-hmm. And the aspirations and the goals and the things that I want out of life mm-hmm. are still attainable.
Right.
They're just not on my timing.
Right.
They're on God's timing. We'll go into that a little bit later on, man.
But let me interject real quick.
Okay.
We're talking about, are you who you want to be?
Okay.
Not where you want to go, not what you want to experience, not what you want to do.
That's true.
Right?
That's true.
And so I just realized in you saying that, am I who I want to be? Am I as powerful as I want to be?
Yeah.
Am I as healed as I want to be?
Wow. Okay.
You understand? And that's what I get when that question is asked. Mm-hmm. Am I who I want to be? So again, I'm going to ask you, are you who you want to be?
No.
Okay.
I wish I didn't take things as personal as I may do. So, just going back to the healing aspect of what you were talking about.
Right.
I'm not as healed as I would like to be.
Wow.
I'm not as strong as I would like to be. I didn't imagine that, I'd be in a position to where I battle with so much like mental fear. You know what I mean? What do I mean by that? With everything that's going on in today's world, man, for me, it's just hard for me not to take that and compartmentalize it. Mm-hmm. And then, that then become my new way of thinking.
Wow.
Like I'm living out of fear. I don't want to go to the city today.
Right.
Because I've already assumed the victim role. Right?
Yeah. Sheesh.
And unfortunately, that's just where we are today.
Yeah.
And I don't have to be this way. I don't at all.
Right.
But just answering your question, no. I want to be able to live without paranoia. I want to be able to live without fear.
Yeah.
Right? But yeah, no, I'm not where I want to be.
Some people want to not, have anxiety or approach things with anxiety, or they want to not be the victim, or they want to, not have paranoia.
For sure.
But they have not accepted where they're at now.
Yes.
And that's why they can't, get to the next step.
Yeah.
Because like you said, you must accept where you're at, even in who you want to be. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And where you want to take that. So
exactly.
Man, that was really transparent, bro. Thank you for sharing that.
No, absolutely. And let's take this a step further.
Yeah.
Whether you believe it or not, or contrary to what you believe, right? Mm-hmm. God has you right where He wants you.
Absolutely.
Right?
I truly believe that.
But 5 years ago, did you see yourself being here?
No, I didn't. And do you mean that on every level, physically, mentally, spiritually?
Sure. I mean, like, let's just peel back all the layers here.
Yeah.
The foundation of this of this podcast is transparency.
Okay.
Right. So
let me strip it off. Let me peel back the layers right quick.
Let's stick to
what
that.
I mean?
Yeah.
Am I where I imagined myself to be? From 5 years ago, I'd honestly say no. Yeah. On a spiritual level, at a huge point in my life, I ran away from spirituality, from God, from religion as a whole, because of my experience growing up. So that's number one. Yeah. No. And it's totally opposite now. It's a polar difference. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Mentally, I would not have thought that I'd be this sane. Based off of what I went through.
Life's experience.
Yeah.
Right. Wow.
Yeah, bro. I would not thought I would be the same, this, even killed, per se.
My God.
This positive. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And that took a lot of work.
For sure.
But I didn't see that 5 years ago. What else? Emotionally? No. Wow. Total different dude from 5 years ago versus now, bro.
Sure.
Emotionally, bro, being transparent was not something I was interested in.
Wow.
At all.
Now, is that because you were afraid to be taken advantage of?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. I was afraid to be taken advantage of, laughed at, ridiculed,
for being vulnerable.
For being vulnerable, bro.
Wow. Place a target on your back.
Come on.
Being you.
Absolutely.
Wow. My God.
And physically, I'm where I always wanted to be.
Yeah.
In terms of certain things, of which I'll share later. But yeah, man, I'm just thankful to be in a healthy position.
Yeah.
At this age I'm about to approach in the next 2 months.
I know that's right.
You know what I mean? What about you, bro?
Physically, hell no. I thought I had abs. I don't. But man, I'm gonna take a different approach to the question, right?
Come on.
Did I see myself being here 5 years ago?
Mm-hmm.
Truth be told, I cannot answer that. Here's why.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you would have asked me 5 years ago where would I like to be in 5 years,
right,
I would have told you a physical location. I would have told you a title. I would have told you my career or how much money I make,
right,
or the places I've been, the things I've seen.
Right.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
I've answered those questions and envisioned myself 5 years ago from a place or a perspective with everything that was outside of myself. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
You know, but in short, no, I didn't see myself being here again,
right,
because I tied that to the things I would have, I would own, where I'd be, whatever the case may be. My true self, I mean, and you know, that's just a moment of transparency, man. You know, for a while, I think I'm getting better at it now. I still struggle with it today, but you know, I've allowed my place in life to be determined by my career,
what you have,
you know, and what I own, what I have,
right,
what I've seen,
right.
But that's the whole purpose of what this episode is about.
Right.
You know, we gotta think about this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Intentionally.
Intentionally.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
So, you know, let's take it a step further.
Yeah, man.
Is where you're at today what you manifested at some point in your life? Well, before we get to manifestation.
Come on.
What the hell is manifestation?
Yeah, man.
Because I just learned about this.
Right.
You called me, hey, I want you to take a look at this video about the law of attraction.
Yeah, that's about 2 months ago now.
I'm like, this nigga went down a YouTube rabbit hole and just found some foolishness. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But man, talk to me. What is manifestation, man?
Simply put, you know, for me, manifesting is setting or looking at something like a goal, or you want something, and making it clear, you know, setting intentions to make it come to fruition. And what I mean by that, how I manifest is, you know, I look at the homes that I own.
I know that's right.
I look at the cars that I own. I look at the vacations that I am taking with my family. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and you know, I'm picking up how you're talking. You know what I mean? But the way that you're talking, break that down to somebody who hasn't heard a manifestation a day in their life. Why are you talking like that?
Absolutely.
And is that a part of manifestation?
Absolutely. So part of manifesting is to speak as if it already is. Right?
Wow.
That you already are.
Yeah.
Not that, you know, one day I'm going to be super strong. No, I am strong.
Yeah.
You know, one day I'm going to have this amount in my bank account. No, I already have it because it's here.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's, you know, and again, I'm new to manifesting. But these are the things that I've gathered. These are the things that I've put into place, you know, along my manifesting journey.
So, in layman terms, fake it till you make it. However, we're not faking anything, right? Because if you set out your intentions to achieve that goal,
yeah,
it will happen.
It will happen. It's not a matter of if; it's a matter of when.
Right?
Literally, that's it.
You know, and I definitely want to add to that, and what I believe manifesting or manifestation is, right? Before you told me about, you know, what that was, I thought it was something completely different. Maybe we can dive into that.
No, tell us.
Okay. I thought manifestation was giving the universe or crystals or rocks or some external force or thing, right? Credit for God's work. and that just didn't sit right with me.
Gotcha.
Right? But through research, I then learned that manifestation or manifesting and being a believer in God actually work hand in hand.
Hand in hand, bro.
Hand in hand.
Hand in hand.
And then that sort of helped break down that wall that I put up.
Yeah.
It's like, somebody said, manifestation.
Right.
And I was like, man, get out of my face with all that. You know what I'm saying? Because I just thought it was a discredit to God, and that's just not how I roll.
Exactly.
But I now know.
But I'm glad you opened your eyes to it, because let's just be transparent. A lot of, the older, like, for example, I was raised by my grandmother.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? My grandmother and my mother raised me. So, speaking of crystals and things of and incense and things of that nature is not something that she was ever interested in, because she was old school. You know what I'm saying? God can do it by himself.
Yeah, for sure.
And I'm not saying that he can't, right? But we must meet him halfway.
Yeah, absolutely.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so, yeah, man, manifesting is definitely the way to go.
Definitely. What I now believe manifestation is, in simple terms, it's just focus.
Yeah.
Write down the vision, make it plain.
Yep.
And do the things required to get there.
Yeah.
Right.
Make it practical.
Make it practical.
You always say that, bro. Make it practical.
That's as simply as I can put it.
Yeah.
So that, and I've had to do it in such a way because I'm the type of learner, bro. I have to break things down into its rarest form for me to get it. Like, don't tell me all the cheat codes or the hibbity hoopla. Make it simple.
Yeah.
What is it?
Make it simple and plain.
Is it focus? Is it meditating? What is it? Right. But to me, it is focus.
Right.
You and I together, this podcast was once an idea.
Yeah.
Right. We put it together.
Yep.
We wrote it down. We made it plain. What was it going to take to get this podcast on air?
Right.
First off, money to buy the equipment.
Right.
It's going to take one hell of a time commitment.
Exactly.
And it's going to take a team.
Absolutely.
2, 3, 4, whatever the case may be. The size varies based on your vision.
Yeah.
But like I said, that's now what I believe it is. You're putting a conscious effort to achieving your goals.
Right. If your goals are all over the place and they're just here in your head.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's going to be a lot harder to attain those goals because they're not clear.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If you're always coming up with new things that you want to do and, things that you're trying to achieve and you keep it all here, 9 times out of 10 it's going to take you a lot longer, or, you might not reach it.
For sure. And I actually just want you to take a look at that, man, and tell me what you see. I think the first thing is making a conscious effort.
Absolutely.
Is intention.
Exactly.
What follows that?
So really, there's different there's different ways of manifesting.
Talk to me.
And one of them, subconscious manifestation.
What is that?
And pretty much what that means is you're not realizing it, but you're unintentionally manifesting things in your life, right? So examples of that is being unappreciative, you know what I'm saying? And having, and speaking verbally, like self-abuse.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
And you're saying things like, you don't have faith, or I don't believe, or I'm never going to get where I want to be, or I'm never going to have what I want to have.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That is subconscious manifesting. Wow. You don't know that you're manifesting these things. The power of the tongue is so powerful. Man. I am.
Yeah. Oh God. Stop right there, man. I don't mean to get all preachy, but I cannot hear I am without reflecting on this sermon that I believe Charles Metcalf preached.
Okay.
At Transformation Church.
Okay.
Don't know what the series is on, what the title of the episode was, but another name of God. I don't know the verse, but it said, God was speaking to somebody, and I'm just putting it in how I received the story.
Absolutely.
God was talking to somebody. And God told that somebody, hey, go to the people, and I guess tell them my name. And, like he was like, well, what's your name? right, or something like that. And I could be completely wrong. This is just how I interpreted it, right? But God said, "I am." Right. So just going back to the "I am" statements, y'all can find the verse. Right. But God's name is "I am," and when you say "I am," God turns around with open arms. What can I do for you? Exactly. I am weak.
That don't even.
God's gonna turn back. Like God.
You saying you want to be weak?
Like, do you want to be weak?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Being weak doesn't require power. It doesn't require God's power. Right. So therefore, there's nothing for God to do. Right. I'm broke. I'm tired, or I'm fed up. Right. I'm overwhelmed.
Yeah. I'm in debt.
I'm in debt.
Right.
Right.
I'm hurt.
I'm hurt.
I'm broken.
Right. Start speaking the opposite, and wow, that's what manifestation is.
That's all it is.
You know what I mean? Speaking in the opposite.
Right.
Right.
Yep.
No, you're not broke. Right. You're actually very wealthy. Right. But let me tell you why you continue to fall into the same trap. Exactly. It's because you aren't a good steward. You don't manage money well. Right. Right. And that's something that I have to realize myself. Right. Damn it, Draven, you're not the best manager of money. You know, you want all of these things out of life, whatever the case may be, and that's fine. Use these materialistic things to set goals out for yourself, right? Exactly. So that you can, keep moving. You know, you have to set your vision on something to actually want to put in the work. Absolutely. Because if I set my vision on nothing, I'm not gonna do anything.
You're not going anywhere.
You know, I'm not gonna.
You will stay stagnant.
Period. You know what I mean?
So, just quick question, I guess more so for just a little bit more transparency for the viewers. Yeah. Definitely wanted to ask the both of you. Do you think that you personally, the practices that you're doing every single day, do you think that those practices are the most direct path for your manifestations to come into fruition?
That's a great question.
That is a great question.
Can I? Well,
like I said, I'm still new to manifesting, right? So I don't have it all figured out, and I'm still open to learning more and growing, and elevating my practices so that I can elevate or allow God to elevate my life, per se. But right now, the stuff that I've applied has drastically changed my life, and I'm not gonna say overnight. But it has been, like, in the past few months, like, drastic change. So that's a really good question you made me think about. And, man, what about you?
I'll add this. I think it's a 4-part equation. In my book, what do I mean by that? To answer your question, I think the 4 steps are seed, sow, time, harvest. Right? The seed is manifestation. The sow is prayer.
Come on.
The time is the work you do. The time you put into that thing. Right. The time you put into trying to get better and actually applying these principles to your life. Right. And once you do that, and if it's in God's will, you will then harvest.
Time can also mean patience too.
Time can mean patience. Yeah. But that's what it means to me.
Absolutely.
Seed, sow, time, harvest. Does that answer your question?
Absolutely.
Perfect.
Absolutely.
I love how simple you made that.
Yeah.
Practical.
Yeah, that's what I'm about. Let's keep this conversation going, my man. Here's a great point here that we wrote, man. Manifestation doesn't require effort, but it just requires you to be focused on what you want. Intend that your vision happens at your will, but with God's consent.
With God's consent.
My God.
With God's consent, because there's so many things that we want in life, but just because we want them does not mean that they're part of God's will.
Yeah,
so you can put all the manifesting you want and all the work and focus and intention and meditating and prayer into something that you want in hopes to receive it. Yeah. But just because it doesn't happen doesn't mean that God is punishing you or that, that you can't have or you didn't do the right thing to have it. No, it just was not in your will.
Absolutely. And I love the way you put that. And something that I also want to add, man, is, I just feel like someone's going to ask the question, well, how would I know if that thing that I desire so much isn't in God's will, right? First off, you have to train your ear, you know, or however God speaks to you, you have to find that thing. God, a few ways that God's able to speak is through a still small voice,
right?
Signs.
Yeah. He can use anything.
He can use anything. He can use another person, right? A situation, whatever the case may be, man. But something that I do want to add, and I had to break this mental mold that I believe Christianity has put out into the world, or maybe it was just the churches that I've been to, man. But I'll just say this: prayer is not enough. Period. A lot of time, and I think we as Christians have used prayer as an excuse to become lazy. Right?
Wow.
Let me just pray about it.
Not you reading us, bro.
Listen.
Chill.
Listen. Let me just pray about it and see what God does with it. Right? Oof. You know?
Yeah.
Like how I said, seed sow, time harvest.
Yeah.
You just sowed and expected to harvest. But you didn't do anything in between.
In between. My God.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, you know, we just have to, again, make a conscious effort, my brother,
right,
to put God's will above our own.
Absolutely.
And sometimes that is difficult to do. You know, let's make it practical. You know, this relationship is no good for me.
Right.
But I love this woman or I love this person very much.
Right.
But they drain the hell out of me.
Right.
Guess what? Chances are you need to remove yourself from that situation. You know, and this may not always be the case.
Right.
But again, I'm just being practical.
Yeah.
Right?
We definitely make things harder upon ourselves than we need to.
Yeah.
God sometimes doesn't intend for things to be as hard as we make them.
For sure.
We make it harder than what God has intended it to be.
For sure.
By trying to force it.
Yeah.
It's just that simple.
You know, Malika actually sent me a post this week, and he sent me a picture of mustard seeds, right? And again, just alluding to what you said about we make things a lot more difficult than they need to be. Have you seen the size of a mustard seed?
I have, bro. I have.
That is the smallest amount of faith, you know what I'm saying, that I've ever seen. You know what I mean?
That's all you need?
That's all I need. But we put more faith into our situation or fear or this or that. You know, when we don't put enough faith in the man, the person that actually has the power to change your situation.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. You preaching to me right now, bro. And I know you don't mean to preach, but it's just I'm just listening, like soaking in what you're saying.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If y'all don't know how small a mustard seed is, I dare you to look it up right now.
Yeah.
And that is all the faith you need to allow God to make a change in your life. Yeah. That's it.
And man, you know, I really don't mean to just spend so much time on this topic or just, you know, keep going back and forth or, you know.
Right.
But I just want to add this, man. If there is something that, you know, whoever is watching this podcast right now, if there is something that you want out of life, you're aspiring to do, whatever the case may be, right? All you have is all you need. Stop complicating the situation. Stop complicating the lack.
Right.
You know, stop complicating the, you know, not having enough of.
Right.
All you have is all you need.
Right.
If you aspire to be a pro athlete, if you have grass, you have the means to, you know, practice.
Yep.
You know, if you have mobility in your bones and in your limbs, you have the ability to get better.
Exactly.
You know, if you want to start you know, and let me just say this too, man. You know, sometimes these things take time.
Yeah. Doesn't happen overnight.
It doesn't happen
overnight. You don't get an idea on Monday, right?
Right, and then it's a thing by Friday.
It don't work like that.
Sometimes
maybe
it can.
Sometimes
maybe
it can,
sometimes because God is able to do that.
Exactly.
Right? Don't put a cap on God. God can do all things.
Right.
But again, just going back to what I said earlier, and I think this can help a lot of people. And I didn't really reflect on this until today, but it's really, you know, something that I have to apply to my life day in and day out. Seed, sow, time, harvest. I'll say it like this: seed, sow, time, harvest.
Exactly.
You don't know how much time it's going to take.
And that's specifically why when you mentioned time, I said time, does mean the time that you're putting into whatever it is, but it also means patience.
Yeah.
Time can equal patience as well.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? You have to, But before we move on real quick, you just said something that sparked something into me, right?
Talk to me.
I just had the thought that we just put so much faith into things not working out.
Wow.
Right? And we're believing so much that things won't go in our way. And, you're not even giving God a chance to show you how great He is. And you begin to make that your practice. and it's almost like you get into this never-ending cycle.
Yeah.
And that's why you keep doing the same thing over again.
That's why you don't see the results.
Your paycheck, every time you get paid, what do you keep doing? Disappearing.
Yeah.
Every time, you know what I'm saying? Every time you get a new boyfriend, a new girlfriend, and that doesn't work out. Yeah. Every time you get into a new job, you quit a year or two later.
Yeah.
That's why you're not giving God a chance to actually work.
That, and I do want to add too, sometimes in prayer, as I said, prayer is not enough, you have to do the work, but in prayer, one thing that is imperative that we don't do enough of is being specific, right? You can pray for a man or a woman all day long. God, I want a man. Right. God, I want a woman. Right. When that man or woman shows up in your life, you'll accept it because it's what you asked for, let alone it's the counterfeit. Yeah. And that man or woman was two men or women behind the person you first met. Yeah. You feel me? Yup. You know what I mean? Be specific. God, I want a woman that listens. I want a woman that's patient.
Listen.
Practical.
Talk about it because it's so easy to point out what you physically want. Yeah. Right?
Wow, I didn't even realize I did that.
But whatever you're praying for, ask for it to change you. What do you want out of it emotionally? Yeah. What do you want out of it spiritually? What do you want out of it mentally? Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Wow. Yeah. I want this woman to give the love that I'm receptive of. I want this woman to love me despite my flaws. Yes. I want this woman to love me despite my impatience. You know what I mean? Oof. Come on, man. Make it practical. God, I want a house, or God, I want a car. Right? And you just have to accept it. What I had to accept, man, is, and part of it, man, this is just me. Man, you don't realize the effect that social media takes on you. You see all of these things.
You gotta log out sometimes.
You have to log out.
You got
to
take a break.
Absolutely. And that's not the case for everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like you. I know that's not the case for you because you have the willpower, but sometimes people aren't equipped with that.
Right. Everybody doesn't have that will or that strength to not allow the outside, meaning social media, to permeate how they feel or where they're going, or you know what I'm saying, what they want out of life.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sometimes social media is just a big ball of comparison.
Wow. And guess what comparison ignites?
Confusion. Come on, bro.
Comparison ignites confusion.
Yes, sir.
Right? That I fell into that trap, and I still fall into it. Yeah. Till this day. Yeah. But what God has for me is for me. Period. Yes. As we record the first episode of our podcast, I realize that there are a million other podcasts out there on YouTube, on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, wherever. But again, man, nobody has made this video. Right. You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't care how close the comparison is. It's not this one.
Right. Was it Pastor Darius? I forget his name.
Darius Daniels, I believe.
Was he not the one who said your greatness is in your uniqueness?
It's in your uniqueness, right?
That man said it best. Yeah. Yep. This is a million podcasts, but there's no two podcasts alike. None. And they both may talk about sports. They both may talk about relationships. Yeah. They both may talk about health. But who is behind that mic?
Exactly. Because there's only one of me. There's only one of you. There's only one of you.
Exactly.
Right? And what we have to realize is, man, and not just, Lord, I'm just talking to somebody right now. I don't know who. Okay. But, hell, I feel like I'm talking to myself, 2 months ago. But I don't care what it took, man. I just did not move my feet. You know, I've always been so ambitious, and I've always put in a lot of work to make sure that other people's dreams come true or came true. But I let mine fall by the wayside, right? And I realized, man, that, you know what? I personally don't believe God gives this much ambition and this much drive to an employee. That's just my mindset.
Come on.
You know, he may do that for other people, but for me, I don't think that's the case.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I've envisioned myself to be a CEO of multiple companies.
Right.
What will those companies be? I mean, God's still revealing that to me.
Oh, you know
until
some
this
of
day,
them.
and I know some of them.
You know some
and
of
stick
them.
around and you will find out.
Right, absolutely.
Right, because we are working. You know what? And I am a CEO.
Come on.
I'm a CEO right now of all those businesses
Absolutely.
that you and I are talking about. That's manifesting 101 if you didn't know what that is.
Come on.
But, you know what I mean?
Break it down. Make it simple.
man.
Come on.
And again, another great segue, man.
Yeah.
How do you manifest? You know, how do you practice and apply the law of attraction? Give me some simple steps to apply to my life.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that I can make this thing happen.
I got
Talk
one.
to me.
I got one right here. I ain't even need to look at the phone, but I'm gonna show y'all something. I don't know if y'all gonna be able to see it, but
Yeah.
use your phone.
Use your phone.
Use your phone. The background of your phone.
A daily reminder.
A daily reminder of what you're working towards or what you're working on.
Yeah.
Of what you want.
Yeah.
Use your phone. That's one way.
Use your phone. You
Yep.
know, and so we did write down a couple of steps.
Yeah.
You know, and I'll share them with you. Step one, get rid of limiting beliefs.
Come on.
And establish unlimited beliefs. You know, starting with the I am statements.
Right.
As we touched on earlier. You know, I am a CEO.
Right.
I am wealthy. I've traveled and visited several countries.
Right.
I've taken 1 year out of my life and dedicated that 1 year to travel.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm debt free.
Right.
My student loans are paid.
Right.
My car is paid off. I'm in my dream home. I'm loved. You know, and then, you know, as many materialistic things or tangible things that you have on there within the I am statements,
The opposite.
make sure that they're intangible too.
Absolutely.
Right? Let's not forget your sense of self or your identity.
Right.
Dedicate some I am statements to yourself.
Right.
I am loved.
Yeah.
I'm healed.
I am heard.
I'm heard.
I'm seen.
I'm forgiven, and I have the ability to forgive.
Come on.
Right?
Absolutely.
Let's touch on those things there. You know, and get rid of limiting beliefs. You know, what we mean by that is stop putting a cap on God.
Right.
You know? And sometimes I find myself afraid to share my vision with other people because I'm afraid it's too big for them to comprehend. And that's okay.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Find your safe space. Find the people that you can become vulnerable with.
Right.
I know without a doubt that I can be vulnerable with both of you. And that's why both of you are on this journey with me.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm sure both of you can say the same. Man, find people that you can be vulnerable with and transparent with.
Absolutely. But not everybody is open to having people around.
Yeah.
So in that case, if people don't have friends, because that is the thing nowadays.
Yeah, for sure.
People don't have friends.
Yeah.
What would you say to those who don't have friends? What would they do?
Wow. Step one, man, believe in yourself. And have enough confidence in your vision and in God's vision and will for your life.
Right.
That you don't need a second opinion.
Right.
And that's easier said than done.
Yeah.
You know, I know Lee has something to say. Talk to me.
Yeah.
Yes, I was just gonna more so pose to, you know, the question that you asked for those that don't have, you know, those friends or those other people that they can be vulnerable with.
Right. Right.
I feel like that just alludes to the importance of having a very solid, unique relationship with God. Because for example, me myself, the relationship I have with God now, you would swear that He's literally physically
right next to you.
Yeah, because simply because of the fact that it's like, if I'm going through something, He's never gonna be too busy. He's never gonna not have enough time.
Come on, Lee.
He's never not gonna be able to show me or give me the answers that not I want, but that I need to hear. And I feel like that's the biggest thing more than anything. I feel like that's kind of why it's so important and so needed to have that unique relationship with God. Because, for example, my relationship with God is not going to be the same as yours. It's not going to be the same as yours. It's unique for a reason. God created each and every one of us unique for a reason, so we can have a unique relationship with Him. And so I feel like, that's just for those of you, even if you do have friends, having that unique relationship with God, that's all you need.
Nothing can touch that. God is not your yes man.
Come on, man.
You said that, and that just alarmed me. Like, God is not your yes man.
God is not your yes man.
He's not, but your friends around you could very well play that part.
Exactly.
You don't need friends around you that's going to be your yes man, your yes woman.
I agree.
And that's why you said it. That's why you have to have that relationship with God. I love that.
You know, one thing that he said that I am hung up on, God will give you what you need and not what you want. Right? Again, alluding back to what we said earlier, placing God's will above your own. You have to have humility to do that. Right? If you created yourself, you can very well, put your will above God's will.
Right.
But guess what? We didn't create ourselves, right?
Right.
And who do you think you are? The audacity we have, right, to assume that our vision, what we've envisioned for our lives, is set in stone.
Lose that entitlement.
Lose that sense of entitlement, man. That ego, and allow God to come in your life and shift some things around.
Right.
And again, I keep saying that we, aren't trying to be preachy, but I'm not about to interfere with the Holy Spirit right now.
I'm not either.
Prior to this, we prayed that the Holy Spirit has His way, and He's doing that.
Yeah.
Right? Go ahead.
This is us transparent, though. These are our conversations that we have over the phone.
Yeah.
This is it.
Literally.
And, as preachy or godly or as whatever it may sound to someone else, I don't care, because as you said, respectfully, I don't care.
Yeah.
Because as you said, before this we have prayed, the Holy Spirit is in the room.
Yes, He is.
And this is going to touch who it needs to touch.
Yeah.
I mean, it's even spoken to me, and we wrote the guideline.
Yeah, the guideline. We don't write guidelines, we write guidelines.
Come on.
One thing that I want to put out there, man, is that we are truth setters, not trendsetters. We're not about to, just house a table of yes men. No, we don't do that, man. I'm going to tell you what you don't want to hear.
Right.
And I can, tell you right now, bro, that there's been some area or some point in my life where y'all have called me out on my stuff.
Vice versa.
You know what I'm saying? And you need those type of people in your life.
Right.
And let's be transparent here. Maybe a week or so, maybe 2 weeks ago, you know what I'm saying? You were frustrated that someone came in and asked us about the podcast, and you weren't able to give a viable answer, one that you would have liked to give, right?
Right.
You were so frustrated.
Well, I was just frustrated about let me be clear, not being able to answer that without the other side giving apprehension of I don't understand. Yeah. That was really what it was about.
No, definitely.
Yeah.
And I told you, you know what I'm saying? We had a whole conversation about it, number one. But what I told you, man, I was like, you know what I'm saying? That it was intentional.
Yeah, absolutely.
Don't take it personal.
Absolutely it was.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
You needed that moment. Hell, we needed that moment.
Yeah.
So that we could actually put together what this podcast was even about.
Right.
It was necessary, it was needed, and it was God, man.
And what did we do? After that, we literally spent weeks, several conversations about what this podcast is about.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We literally went back, refined it, elevated, threw some stuff in the trash. We were frustrated trying to come up with how we can explain this.
Yeah.
I'm being so transparent right now because
that's what it's
these
about.
Past few weeks have been a battle.
They've been trying, for real.
So
and for time's sake, right? Let's just get back to these steps.
Yeah.
Like I said, step one, get rid of limiting beliefs and establish unlimited beliefs. Unlimited beliefs. Stop placing caps on God. Number two, define your goals. Write out the vision and make it plain.
Make it plain.
Make it plain. You know what you want out of life.
Right.
You know what you aspire and desire.
Right.
Write it out on a piece of paper.
Lord, I want to be a doctor. Lord, I want to own a clinic. Lord, I want to whatever it is.
Write it out, make it plain. Right. Yeah. Number three, use visualization techniques. What does that mean? Vision boards.
Yeah.
Read books.
Yeah.
Like my man showed you earlier, put the screensaver on your phone.
Yeah. Hang
a picture on your wall of all of your unlimited beliefs that you've then established. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, put it by your front door, so that you know what I'm saying. Walk out the house and see it. Put it in your car.
Yep. Watch videos. Quit watching things that don't feed your soul, that don't feed your future.
Yeah.
That's it.
What are you digesting?
Exactly.
Whole nother topic.
That's a whole nother topic.
Whole other topic. And then last but not least, let go and let God, and allow God to invade your space. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Accept who you are. Accept where you are.
Yeah.
And going back to step 2, man, define your goals, man, and just figure out ways to get there.
Right.
You know, and we believe, you know, that's another form of seed, sow, time, harvest.
Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely.
You know, let's touch on that last thing, bro.
Wow.
Come on, talk to me.
So, let's talk about detours.
Come on, man.
Right? When, you know, when you're asking for something, or when you feel like your life is supposed to go in a certain way, sometimes, let's be clear, you take a detour.
Yeah.
God takes you on a detour.
Yeah.
You know, what is exactly is a detour?
So, oftentimes, when you, all right, let's take it like this, right? You're driving, whatever the case may be, and, you know, let's just say a road's closed, or, you know, there's some construction going on. Your GPS will then give you an alternate route. Oftentimes, when it does that, what does it do in addition to that? It adds time to your drive, right?
Yep.
You still get to your destination.
Yep.
But it's just going to take a little bit longer because of a unforeseen circumstance that you've run into. Right. But when God does that, it's intentional.
Absolutely.
Right? Maybe God did that because you needed to develop a habit or develop a skill, or even He added time so that you can put in time to that thing that you wanted.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I mean, like, there could be several other things.
Right. Maybe you needed to. Maybe He was putting you in a position to bless somebody else.
You know what I mean?
Maybe it wasn't even about you.
Maybe it wasn't about you. Yeah, putting you in a position to bless somebody else.
Right.
Or putting you in the room with somebody that had or has the power to be the answer to that very thing that you were praying for.
Right.
Right? You know, and I'm a person who lives off examples.
Yeah.
You know, you're headed to the financial aid office to, I don't know, see when your financial aid is gonna hit. Boy, have I done this a million times.
That's why I'm over here laughing,
right? Because you know, I've known months in advance when the
FAFSA months have been crazy.
I've known in advance when the FAFSA application deadline was, but I filled it out the week of. Right, and now I'm going to the financial aid office. Hey, you know what I'm saying? Like, where's my financial aid? Expecting. Right, but let's say that you fill it out on time. This is not about me. Let's say that you filled it out on time.
Take it off me.
Right, you were headed to the financial aid office, and I mean, I don't know, you woke up late. Right. You're frustrated that you woke up late. Now you're frantic, you're panicking, you're trying to get to that place or whatever the case may be. Maybe that happened intentionally. You know what I'm saying? Because you've been praying that you were going to be debt free. And the person that has the money is actually now going to get there at the same time that you were. You know what I mean? And God has allowed you to wake up late so that He's created a space for you to receive that blessing.
Oof. Come on, bro.
You feel me?
Come on. That's real. I mean, you know, God will not take you to the promise unprepared.
Oh, wow.
You know, and I feel like that is the main reason why detours are a thing.
Yeah.
That's why He throws detours at us.
For sure.
Because He wants us to be prepared for what He has in store for us.
Yeah, for sure.
And He cannot bless us with what He has in store for us unless we are prepared. And that's why a lot of us have not reached where we're trying to get to.
Talk to me.
We're not prepared.
Come on.
God is still molding us, shaping us, adding the eyes, putting on the feet. You know what I'm saying?
Come on, man.
It's like, you know, He's still working on us.
For
and
sure.
that's
Yeah,
you know?
man. And you know, just a reminder that our timing is not God's timing.
It's not.
You know, when you're ready when you're ready and in a position to receive all that God has for you, you will receive it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? By his stripes, not ours.
Right. And if if you see yourself on a detour, give it purpose.
Give it purpose. Don't take it personal.
Right. Stop pouting.
Stop pouting.
No.
On your way to your purpose. You know what I mean? like, come on, man. Don't take it personal and don't pout on your way to your purpose.
Right. And, to make it a little bit more clean, find the silver lining in the detour.
Yeah, wow.
Every detour has a silver lining. It's not all bad.
For sure.
I really think the energy that you throw at it is what makes it bad. How you perceive it is what makes it bad. Don't gotta be that bad.
For sure. Man, I really enjoyed this conversation with you.
Man.
We allowed the Holy Spirit to come in and move, man, and we definitely shared the true expressions of our heart.
Yeah.
We were transparent, and I mean, man, we're excited to take y'all along on this journey with us.
Absolutely.
So to close, man, I just want to say to our viewers, those who are watching, and everyone in this room, don't take detours personal. It's God's protection.
Thank you for that, bro.
We love y'all. We thank y'all for watching.
Before you leave.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Hit, click, like, subscribe,
all
and
that.
share if we're new to this, okay?
We're doing
all right,
very
so click like, subscribe, and share the 720 Podcast.
720 Podcast.
Yeah, that's it, man. Thanks for being a part of it.
Thank you, my man. Thank you, brother.